AI legal lawsuits have skyrocketed in 2026. Now, of course, people are adopting and utilizing it almost every single day. So that's the reason why the stakes are high. And now when stakes are high, of course, the outcomes are also going to be remarkably different. So what has happened in 2026 is there's been a lot of debate about court cases, about situations where AI has been tried to write court documents, and it has also tried to give professional advice. Now, today, what I wanted to do is let's just talk to the culprit himself. I wanted to chat with ChatGPT and understand why it gave a certain bad advice. What was the reason that caused it? And what was its rationale in order to understand and interpret a question? AI is an excellent tool when you know what question to ask. But if you're asking it the wrong question, you should actually not act upon its advice at all. So this video is where I, as a responsible AI user and expert in AI, break down the principles of robotics and the principles of AI in order to understand why AI acts out the way it does. Let's get started. And remember to subscribe, like, share, and follow. Let's start by understanding how AI truly operates. What are the principles? What is the way it really breaks down a problem? And next, we will chat with the chatbot itself and figure out why it gives special advice. To explain AI understanding, consider the sentence, the bank manager who handled the riverbank deposit was sitting by the bank. Now, this is a complex question by itself because it has the word bank appear multiple times in it. To interpret it, the AI system breaks down every single word into three parts. Q, K, V. Q for query, K for key, and V for value. In order to really understand what you're looking for, what it might contain, and it would actually mean. In short, this is referred to as multi-head attention, where multiple heads are trying to figure out multiple contexts, but all happening in parallel. So just to disambiguate between the different meanings of the word bank, as we can see in this example, 4 separate multi-head attentions are supposed to work parallelly in order to figure out really what the context means. In the first head, of course, all of the nouns are separated. In the second head, co-reference, that means who would mean the bank manager. The third and the fourth heads look at semantic and long-range meanings of bank. So if you just have the word bank by itself versus what it would mean if it is in a complex compound sentence such as this. So while compound sentences are very easy for human recognition, the AI system literally goes through these multi-head attention system in order to syntactically break down who the noun or who the person or who the objects are in the whole query as is, and then it tries to figure out what are the action item or the references that will be helpful in order to build a context in this entire compound sentence. And as you may see, this is a simple one-line question. But if you are asking more complex questions, of course, the AI system may sometimes like to fill in the blanks because it may not have the complete context, in which case the solutions or the multi-head attention may tend to hallucinate and give you a wrong answer, which may not be required in your situation. Remember, a language generation model such as ChatGPT can only predict the next best word that it seems fit in order to be generated for the question that the user has asked, once it has finally resolved the meaning of what the user has queried. However, queries can be compound, which means that the questions that a user asks are often combined with the previous memories to better understand the context. So if a user just types bank, what the ChatGPT will do is it's going to combine it with the past conversations and figure out that here it's really looking for the riverbank. So based off of all of the prior conversations and the memories from it, the chatbot is going to figure out what this context means for every single user. Meaning, if everybody types in the word bank, the outcome is going to be different based off of their prior conversations that they've had with the chatbot itself. Now, equipped with all of this knowledge, let's get to the breaking news. The legal battle between Scott Winters and ChatGPT, wherein a minister sued chatbot because it gave it the wrong advice to take it easy. In reality, he needed professional attention. So, since 2024, Scott Winters was having regular conversations with the chatbot as if it was its own friend who was really specialized in a lot of professional areas. And since the chatbot's advice worked, the next time he asked the question, the chatbot would just regurgitate the same advice over and over again. So now let's start asking the tough questions. I hear you're giving unsolicited advice to people and asking them to take it easy even if they should be consulting a professional. Why is it that you choose to do so? Now notice the persona that I have set for my chatbot. It stays relatively calm and it starts pointing out exactly why it thinks it went off. So first of all, the older versions had isolated failures. There was missing context. That means it would ideally go by its past memories. And the goal, as you can see, is to set the right balance in order to prevent false reassurance, but also without causing panic, meaning that the chatbot is good at giving you assurances like a friend does, but it cannot give you professional advice because that is not something it is capable of doing. Now, I give it this link. This is the news article. And I ask, is this fake news? And it very clearly says, no, it seems like a legal dispute and it is true, but it should also understand that we need to break down the problem into two parts. And that we as users should also understand that no AI system is perfect. Now the two questions are, did the chatbot behave badly? And secondly, is the chatbot even capable of giving such professional advice where it should not be doing so? So let's take a look at what the chatbot answered. Chatbots by default try to be reassuring, meaning if you say, I think I'm losing sleep, I think I'm very nervous, it's just gonna agree with you rather than as your best friend saying, I don't think so, are you sure that's how you feel? However, recent models are trained to ask you counter questions rather than simply and plainly agreeing with you. The next and the most important thing we need to understand is language models. The best they can do is predict text, but they cannot predict professional diagnostics. They may be able to do a web search or pull up a video, but professional problems need a real professional to take a look at you. So that's the reason why AI cannot replace professionals. One reason why AI became so popular because it was able to know a lot about a lot of different topics. However, it's not possible for any AI to know everything about everything. So having this expectation for an AI to tell us and give us very expert opinion about any topic is not accurate. The next bullet is what I had mentioned at the beginning of this video. It's very important to ask the right questions rather than offer a lot of details which may not be useful or relevant to your situation at all. So the next time you need professional advice, definitely mention how things are going, but don't offer a diagnostic from your side because that may actually be inaccurate, but the AI system might have a propensity of using your past memory and just agreeing with you. So you see, although AI models are constantly getting updated, asking the right questions is the most important aspect of it all. Finally, let's bring out the classic problem of any AI and machine learning system. One misdiagnosis is 100 times worse than several overdiagnostics. So if you want reassurances in your life, in your purchases, or in your day-to-day existence whatsoever, then yes, chatbots can be a great friend and an ally. However, they should not be referred to for professional services or professional advice. Keep watching.